Put it in the comment down below if you know what famous Jamaican plant this is, and it's not that other famous Jamaican plant. But I just fell into that one.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
My name's Abigail. This is the pumpkins.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Kenroy here. Now today I'm outside. I'm back in the country after traveling for what feels like most of the summer. It's now time for me to just sit back, relax, as autumn is now here. Now one of the things that I love about autumn is that this time of the year is when a lot of the things that you can grow in your garden starts becoming fruitful, and it's now time for us to start harvesting. So stuff like sweet corn, pumpkins, squashes, you know, and many other things, you know, that you can grow in the garden here in the UK. Now it's time for us to start harvesting. Now if you're new to this channel guys, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. Here on this channel we do a lot of DIY projects, a lot of family vlogs, and from time to time we share tips and tricks on how to save money. So if this is something that you and your family can benefit from, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, as well as clicking that little bell notification icon, so as soon as Safari and I upload a new video, you guys will be notified. Now I had originally planned for all of us as a family to come out in the garden today and to actually harvest some of the fruits and some of the vegetables that we're growing, but unfortunately because of our schedule, because of the weather, I think I'll just be flying solo today. Now Safari is still at work, Abigail is having an afternoon nap, and Naomi of course is at school. So I figured the sun is shining a little bit and it's not that cold today, which is really nice. So I thought I'd come out and harvest some of these produce that we've got that is desperately needed to be harvested. Now if you haven't seen the video on how Safari and I were able to transform this little plot of land here, which was an absolute wasteland, into our little garden paradise, do click the link up above and check that out. It's a really nice inspiring video of how we basically saw the potential in this garden, and even though it was derelict and, you know, not cared for at the beginning, Vi and I were able to transform this space into something that we are now so proud of. So do check that video out if you're looking for some inspiration on how to renovate your garden. That would be a really good video to watch. Now we were quoted around £6,000 in order to renovate this space, and Safari and I are pleased to say that we actually did that in probably under £1,000, and we did it all by ourselves. So if we can do it guys, you can definitely do it yourself. Now when we bought this place, one of our dreams was to have somewhere that we could grow our own vegetables in our garden so that we can then use in our homes, of course to lower the cost of our weekly shop, but also, you know, as a sense of satisfaction. There's nothing like growing your own food. Now when we were designing this garden, we wanted to incorporate spaces where we could do just that. Now you can probably see behind me guys, I've got some vegetable growing, and this just behind me here is some pumpkins and squash. Now we love cooking from scratch at home, you know, especially some of those hearty vegan type dishes, and pumpkins is an absolute staple. Now of course this can be quite expensive to buy a lot of this each year. However, if you can actually grow your own, and it's such a simple vegetable to grow that I highly recommend that you do so. If you grow your own vegetables, you'll be saving yourself hundreds of pounds off your shopping bill, not to mention how much more healthy they'll be because they'll all be organically grown. Now in today's video guys, I am going to be taking you through harvesting some of my autumn vegetables, and I hope that this will inspire you to hopefully next year, as this year might be too short notice depending on when you're watching this video of course, but hopefully you too will have a go at growing your own vegetables in your garden, and hopefully your results will be even better than ours. I'm just going to take you guys on a little tour of what I'll be harvesting today, and I thought I'd start from the very end corner of the garden, which is where I've got my compost bin. Now a compost bin is something that every good keen gardener should have, and the reality is that it's a great way for you to recycle and save a lot of the food scraps that obviously would normally be thrown away. Now I'm not sure if you want to look to see what's inside. It's definitely not our favorite place to be, however it's so nutritional for the ground and for the soil. Every year we have this compost bin, and by next spring all of this would have been broken down, and then I get to spread it in this area here, which is where we grow most of our vegetables, and as you can see they're doing pretty good if I do say so myself anyway. So earlier on in the year we actually had some potatoes here. You can still see a few of the vines lingering around, and we got some nice new potatoes, which was really good. Also we got some spinach here, which we've been harvesting throughout the year, which is absolutely tasty. Now I mainly just keep these spring onion bulbs for decoration because I do think they look really nice. Now I absolutely must confess that this year I knew that I would be traveling a lot along with the family, so I didn't go, you know, all out in terms of growing vegetables, because you kind of need to be there to look after them, to make sure they're watered and so on and so forth. So I only planted like 2, maybe 3 pumpkin vines in this area, and suffice to say, from our compost bin I've had around 6 or 7 different pumpkin vines come up by themselves. There's around 4 extra ones in this area just behind me here, and over there, I don't know if you can see, I didn't plant any of those pumpkin vines, nor did I plant any of the ones that are further over there, and they all just sort of sprung up by themselves. I was away on holiday in Jamaica. Again, if you haven't seen those videos of me visiting Jamaica, please go and check those out. I'll put the link above as well. So when I came back, I was like, what is going on here? There were literally just pumpkin vines everywhere, but I decided to just leave them be, and now I think I'm definitely going to have a bumper crop. So I'll just show you a few of what I've got here before I start going around to the other side of the courtyard, where we've actually got some pumpkins that we're going to harvest today. But these ones here, I don't think they're quite ready. I'll leave them for a few more weeks before harvesting them. So here is one of the variety that we're growing now. I'll try and find the name of this one and put it up so you can have a look, but these are so cool. I mean, look at the different patterns on them. They're a lot darker in color, in a really dark green compared to the ones that I'm normally used to growing. Just for comparison, this is the one that I'm used to growing. This one just hanging off here, just chilling. It's a lot lighter in color, and they tend to get a bit bigger, I think, than these ones, but I absolutely love the way that these ones look. So yeah, we've got them just literally spilling out of the raised bed area and onto the grass, which is absolutely hilarious. Now I also had some runner beans, which I've sort of left these one on here because I want them to sort of dry out so I can keep them and plant them for next season. I'm really looking forward to that. They're absolutely huge. The color of these beans are just absolutely amazing. Maybe I'll just grab one off and show you what they look like. So like I said, the pumpkins have absolutely taken over. These are some tomato plants that were planted, but unfortunately because of the pumpkins, there's just no way that they're going to produce. I've got some strawberries here as well that were in pots, being overrun, but funnily enough these strawberries are starting to flower again, which is pretty bizarre if you ask me. I'm not sure what kind of variety these are, but we will be getting some more strawberries here in autumn, which I'm not going to complain about. Now, for those of you Jamaicans who know what this is, I'd love for you to put it in the comment down below. Not going to say what it is, but it's a type of, let's just say a type of spinach that we often have in Jamaica. And I've just left this one to go to seed because I will be harvesting these seeds to plant next year. Like I said, put it in the comment down below if you know what famous Jamaican plant this is. And it's not that of a famous Jamaican plant. But I just fell into that one. Right, moving on swiftly. So we've got more pumpkins just like literally growing out of every orifice here. Is like, oh my word, it's unreal. So if you look through here, and this one is almost ready for harvesting. This is a green one, much like what I showed you earlier on, and that one is quite big. There's a few more hidden and dotted throughout here. There's one down here that I'm sure I can show you. Yeah, there you go, this one. So this is what it will end up looking like. I know it doesn't seem like much, but these are just so tasty and it's absolutely huge. So yeah, in another couple of weeks I'll probably start harvesting these. Now, how to tell when your pumpkins are ready for harvesting? Normally the leaves that are sort of like in and around the pumpkin, like above it, they start to dry up and die back, sort of like that one over there, and then you know that it's definitely ready for harvesting. But this one is probably quite mature, and you know, you could harvest that one if you wanted to, but I'm gonna leave them a little longer. Again, there's so many of them growing in and around. And the next thing that we also have growing, these bad boys, which are a type of squash. Again, I did not plant any squash this year. They all just grew out of the compost heap that we had from last season. And so yeah, we're now going to be getting squash. Oh, another pumpkin there. Now you're probably thinking, what am I going to do with all these pumpkins, all these squash? But the reality is that I will give some away to my neighbors. But the great thing about pumpkin, which is why I normally grow them, is that you can actually keep them over winter. They're great in stews, they're great in soups, you can roast them. There's so much things you can do with pumpkins. They're so versatile. The kids love them because they're quite sweet. And so none of this will go to waste. I'll give some to neighbors and friends. And the rest of it will simply keep in the garage, in storage, and as long as you don't cut them, they will literally last until the following year. So I remember the last crop that we grew last year actually lasted us until I think around March. We had our final one. You can also chop them up and freeze them. Honestly, the possibilities are endless, so none of these will actually go to waste. Okay, so up next what we've got is some sweet corn. Now these sweet corns, I didn't actually think that they would have amounted to anything, and one of the reasons is because I actually grew them from the seeds that I had the previous year. Now sweet corns are normally like a genetically modified crop, so if you plant a packet of seeds and then you harvest them and then you try to save those seeds like what I did and try to grow sweet corn from those seeds, it seems as if they don't quite turn out right. That mixed with the fact that we had a really hot summer and it was so dry means that my sweet corns aren't looking as big and healthy as they did the previous year. So I normally plant this section here with some sweet corns, a few rows, and like I said, in the previous years they've been okay, but this year I noticed something strange because they were quite dwarf, quite short, just some of them not even making it to 5 foot. And then the flowers at the top actually came out so much earlier than the actual corn, which is meant to be further down on the stalk. But I decided to just leave them and see what happens. And the good news is that the corn somehow seemed to have some fruit on there. I'll try and snap one off. Oh, sort of took the whole thing there. But the bad news is that they're really tiny, and as you'll probably see in a second, they haven't been, you know, the yield hasn't been that great. Okay, got all the creepy crawlies in there. Let's have a look to see what this one looks like. So this is what the sweet corn actually looks like, which, to be honest, that's looking a lot better than I thought they would. Wow, actually got corn on there. So like I said, the year before these were a lot bigger, both in terms of the plants as well as the size of the corn itself. But these are looking really good. I'm honestly pleasantly surprised with how these are looking, because to be honest, they don't look that great. Then when you look at this, it looks really nice. Now honestly, I can't complain with how these look. I mean, yeah, they're a bit tiny, but I suppose the real proof is in the pudding. How do they actually taste? Now you can actually eat sweet corn raw. I don't know if many people know that, so I'm going to have a little taste. Wow. That is actually so sweet. Not bad. That is sweet. Oh my word. I swear you should never judge a book by its cover. I'm going to be harvesting all of these sweet corns pretty much right away, because if you leave them on there, they'll simply dry up and become too hard for you to eat, which is what I don't want to happen. Over here, I was meant to be doing a greenhouse project, as you can see, kind of on the back burner because it's been overrun with squash and pumpkins at the moment. So I figured I'll just let nature take its course. I mean, wow, gonna have some lovely squash at some point. I know we've got some more pumpkins over there. Normally on this section of the walkway leading up to the garden, we normally plant crops that we can harvest throughout the season, like spinach, tomatoes, runner beans, strawberries and so on. And we've had a good crop of strawberries this year. However, I'm hoping that next year will be even better. We've also had a really good harvest of spinach, and these spinach are the ones that can sort of cut the leaves and they'll come back again and again throughout the season. And we recently harvested some, and I can see that they're already growing back again. Just by the gate over there, which I've left open, that's swinging in the wind, we've got some runner beans which I will be harvesting some of today as well. So we've got some tomatoes here which we've been harvesting off of, and as you can see we've got some more coming in as we speak. We also have some strawberries growing along here, and at the moment they're currently sending out their runners, which you can then turn into new strawberries for the next season, so you never have to actually buy strawberries again. And moving along, we got some of the spinach which I was talking about, which is really nice.
I've thoroughly enjoyed harvesting spinach.
Hey, when did you come over here?
I was just popping to say hi in my little quick break.
Can you be at work?
I am at work.
Oh.
One needs to get some fresh air.
Oh, I agree. So yeah, Sophia's
Came at
normally
a
in
good
charge
spot.
of... Yeah, I know, right? I didn't even hear you sneak up on me there.
And what was this one called?
Oh
Chard?
yeah, this one is shard.
Chard?
Chard?
Chard? I don't know. Oh, this, I think, is this a weed?
No, that's actually a spinach
Oh,
as well.
it's spinach. Oh, it's grown differently, isn't it?
Yeah, those are the seeds that
It's gone
probably just
hairy.
fell. Hairy?
Yeah. That's why I thought it was a weed. If you look closely.
You can probably pull those ones out so the shard can actually have some.
Breathing.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard.
Go and use them guns. Yeah, we'll get rid of that one. Yeah, but I think this is from like the cold. It's been getting a lot colder now, and we've had some rain, so the leaves are getting damaged. But yeah, autumn is well and truly upon us, so can't complain.
I'm looking forward to the callaloo next year. Have you shown that?
You're not supposed to tell them what it was called.
Oh!
Yeah, I'll forgive you. You came late. I was trying to see if people know what they're actually called.
I'm
but
sorry.
Yeah, that famous
well,
plant grown in
callaloo.
Jamaica.
Yes. Alright, I'm gone. Got meeting.
Oh, anyway, thanks for stopping by.
Bye.
As you can see, another pumpkin growing here. I didn't plant this one. It just decided to just grow off its own free will, and this one can actually be harvested because you can see the leaves are dying back, and the color of this one is changed, and yeah, raring to go. In actual fact, I think I'll probably just snip this one off here and now if I can. One hand, he says. There we go. It's a small one, but no doubt it's going to be nice and tasty. Now the last thing to be harvested in this section that I'm going to show you are these bad boys, which are our runner beans. Now these are fantastic. The same beans that I just showed you in the other section, but these ones are a lot younger than the previous ones. So they're still very tender. The beans on the inside haven't been formed yet, and so they're absolutely fantastic for just steaming before the string that is inside of them gets quite stringy and horrible. So I'm going to be harvesting some of these before they start getting too mature. Now the only thing that I've had an issue with this year is these buggers are some form of little insect parasites that normally infestate a lot of these type of plants, especially towards the later stage of the season. And they literally attack the leaves and the vines, and before long this plant will just die. I rather not get any pesticides to spray on there. So I've just sort of harvested as much as I could for as long as I can, and then when it all dies back I'll just dispose of this plant. Yeah, sort of live and let live really, because like I said, we've had tons of beans off of here already, and you can see there's still more to follow. So I'm going to be harvesting these beans pretty straightforward. All you have to do is just pick them off, and that's it. Now in this corner, which is basically the communal part of our garden, we've got a raspberry bush just in the corner, which we've been picking tons of raspberries off, which is great for freezing, putting in our smoothies, and throughout the summer it's just never ending. There's so much on there that we even give up on trying to pick them all. They're not too bad in terms of being sour, they're not terribly sour, but they're not as sweet as some of the ones you can buy in the shop, which makes them really really good for smoothies. So we pick them, we wash them, and we drop them in the smoothie, and yeah, they're on tap 24/7 really. Okay, so I'm coming into the final section of the garden, which is the madhouse part of the garden, and this is basically where I've got the main pumpkins that I actually planted, along with courgette plant, which has been fantastic this year, and a load of tomato plants. And yeah, we're going to be harvesting most of these today because they're starting to die back, and I think it's about time we actually harvest them and get them into storage. So yeah, over here you can see my courgette plant, which is on its last legs. You can tell by the leaves how they're sort of getting sort of powdered with mildew, and yeah, but despite that, we've still got quite a few courgettes on there which are raring to go. Now this started as a small plant all the way over there, and as it grows throughout the season and you pick the courgettes, it gets longer and longer until eventually it just can't cope with the weather really. I've noticed that the slugs absolutely love eating courgettes, which you can probably tell just by looking at this one here. As for courgettes, the best thing to do is to just harvest them when they're quite young. The younger they are, the more tender they are, and you can simply just break them off the vine. I mean, the color is just absolutely amazing. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera. We've got a couple here, and I might as well harvest this one because you can see the slugs are having a field day. Why should they have all the fun? And I won't completely cut away this plant because, as you can see, it's still growing and there's still fruit on there to be harvested in a day or two. Okay, so I'm back. Just had to go on a school run to pick up Naomi. Abigail's also now up from her nap, and I'm going to see if I can quickly harvest these vegetables before the rain comes, because it actually looks like we're going to get some rain this evening.
Some pumpkins.
What is it?
Some pumpkins.
Some pumpkins?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
We got red ones
Mm-hmm.
and vegetables.
Vegetables, that's right. So, as my little helpers just mentioned, we've got some tomatoes over here, which, oh man, look at the size of these bad boys. Absolutely raring to go. Look at this. What's that? What's that?
That's a pumpkin.
That's a pumpkin. It's a pumpkin. Can you say pumpkin?
Pumpkins.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkins.
I love the way you say pumpkins. So yeah, speaking of pumpkins, these are some of the bad boys which we're going to harvest today. These are definitely ready without a shadow of a doubt. We've got one here, we've got another one there, and we've got another couple over here, I think. Now this one was growing on the fence, hence why it's dangling off. I've used some old stockings to actually tie it up to make sure it doesn't collapse and damage the vine, and it seems to have worked. And last but not least, we've got a small one down here somewhere, right there, which we need to also harvest. So yeah, from this one vine we managed to get ourselves 4 massive pumpkins. Look at this big boy.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
My name's Abigail. This is the pumpkins.
So yeah, this is probably the biggest one that we've harvested so far.
Look.
Okay, so because we were limited on space, I had to end up throwing some of these on the fence just back there. And a little technique that we used in order to stop them from falling off is to use a stocking and actually cover the pumpkins, so that way we could then attach a screw to the actual fence, and that will help to support it and prevent it from collapsing under its weight. I don't know how much these actually weigh, but it's a pretty gorgeous looking pumpkin, and I'm sure a really nice weight to it as well. Okay, so that's all the pumpkins harvested so far, looking really good. So up next we've got some tomatoes which we're going to harvest. Still got quite a few on there that are ripening on the vine, but some of them needs harvesting now, and that will help to speed up the rest of them actually ripening on the vine. I like to leave them to ripen on the vine, which some people like to pick all at once, but I prefer to have some of them ripening on the vine. That way we don't have too much at once. Okay, so one thing I've learnt about runner beans, they're really good at hiding, so you've got to be even better at actually searching and finding them. But so far we've got ourselves a good hearty bounty of runner beans, which, yeah, can't complain with. So last but not least, I'm going to be harvesting these sweet corns over here, for better or for worse, as I think they've done the best that they can. This one, Abby. Hold on to here. Just put them in there. See how many you can actually get off of there. Yeah, some of them are really tiny up there. I don't know if there's going to be any sweet corn on the inside.
Has someone been eating this?
Yeah, I wonder who's been eating that.
Abby.
It was actually me. I had to taste it to make sure they were okay.
Don't bite it.
Alright, let's see if we can have a look to see how they are. Look, they're all covered in creepy crawlies.
Maybe we should put them in the compost, they'll like it there.
Yeah.
They're eating the tomatoes.
Alright, so unravel a couple of them, see how they look.
And then a big one. Oh wow!
Look at this one.
The fancy corn.
This one's called Patches.
Will it cook and be better?
I'm not so sure this is going to be worthwhile. Okay, so this is what we've ended up with in terms of corn. Definitely not my best attempt. However, it's better than I expected, because I didn't actually think any would actually grow at one point. Yeah, we got lots of tomatoes. Look at this one.
Wow, it's red. Mr. Fancy Pants.
It's got a little attachment there.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
That's so cool. You just don't know what you're gonna get when you're growing organic, which is really nice. Okay, so I've just had to dash back inside because the rain has undoubtedly started coming down, but we were able to get through all of the harvesting for this autumn's crop. There's still more to harvest as the weeks go on, but the first major harvest of the autumn is in. And we can now put some of these pumpkins away in storage, which will last us throughout the winter, and of course will help us to save money on those evening meals and so on. So we're really looking forward to it. Gonna leave this video here, guys, just showing you guys a bit of what we get up to year by year in our garden. As always, this is Ken Roy saying, I'll see you when you see me. Take care.